Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Mindset Monday on February the 27th. I am actually broadcasting live from my vehicle as we have just completed the very first The Beach. And the hotel that I'm at right now has terrible Wi-Fi service. So I'm sitting out of my vehicle to make sure that I'm connected with you guys as we are each and every week here, Monday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to continue speaking about community and the importance of it. I'm not going through a bunch of slides like I have over the past couple of weeks, as we have laid out exactly what you get as of now by joining the Thought-Provoking Change community. We've had great response to people joining, and we're looking forward to adding more people to the group and seeing this vision unfold as it is brand new. And we are so excited for everybody that has joined. We do have someone new on the line, so I'd like to throw a shout out and a welcome to Daniel Nunez. He was with us over the weekend at Thought Provoking Change. There was 2 days that was scheduled from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. However, each over as we were bringing so much content, and by we, I mean the entire group. This was not an event by Dean and Jonathan. This was an event by every attendee that joined in. It was incredible. We opened it up, as you guys know, to a maximum of 30 people. And we learned over the weekend that's way too many. So we are going to be reducing that number to make sure that everyone at every event, every time. The goal is to see people come in and have their mind blown up, and we'll pull Daniel in here in a minute to see if that was accomplished. Have everybody's mind blown up with just reframing how they see their life, how they see what they can achieve. And the beautiful part to it was every single person that was there got to pour into everybody. We have people there that were not even in business yet, to people that were moderately doing good in business, to people that were doing phenomenally in business. And we all learn from one another. Because you're not to someone's quote unquote level in business, that you cannot teach them and that you cannot learn, because you can. So always share your story. Your story can be an inspiration to somebody. Your story can change someone's life. And that is the purpose of these communities, of this community of Thought-Provoking Change. That is the purpose of all of the live events that we will be co-hosting and that we will be solo hosting along the way. For those of you that joined us, welcome. For those of you that were not able to join us, we look forward to connecting with you guys soon at future events. We will be putting up more information about the next live event as soon as it is scheduled and we have a confirmed date. So, Daniel, would you mind coming off mute? Actually, you're unmuted right now. Would you like to share a couple minutes of what went on for you over the weekend?
Oh yeah, 100%. I would love to. Just want to start off by saying good morning, everybody. My name is Daniel Nunez. I'm so excited to be here, actually. And if you have the time and chance to go out of your way and learn from this event and go to it and be there, I 100% recommend it. I went in thinking, I'm going to be stuck at where I'm at for life. And that completely changed, being completely honest. Not from just how to make money, but also how to better yourself, how to make a daily routine to, have time for everything that you still want to do throughout the week. And it's not just have to be stuck on one thing specifically. Also learned a lot about real estate, want to get into that as well. but I definitely recommend it. I think it was a great way to learn. And just the group itself was amazing. I learned so much from everybody and took a piece of everybody's pie and added it to myself and how it could affect my life.
That's awesome. He mentioned real estate. The way that we put this event together it was called the unscripted event for a very specific reason. It was not scripted. There was nothing about the event that we had pre-planned. There was nothing about the event that we came in and said, this is what we're going to teach. That was the beauty of this event. We started off by having everyone introduce themselves and where their challenges lied at in business and in life. That one section right there took us almost 2 hours to get through with 10 people in attendance. And that is what we spoke about for the remainder of the event. And, I asked Dean several times, I said, well, what are we going to do? Because we had somebody from this call sign up instantaneously the very first time we spoke about it. And I said, well, Dean, what are we going to do if he's the only person that signs up? Not that I'm negative Nancy and thinking nobody's going to come. I'm just the type that I do not like to react to what's going on in life. I like to plan for it. And I'll never forget, he said, well, Jonathan, then they're going to get you and I one-on-one for 2 days, and we'll just point at that one person. So there was no way that this event would not be successful. Why? Because we did not plan this event to say, come look at us, come listen to us, come learn from us. The participants poured in as much, if not more, than Dean and myself did. Just like we do on this call each and every week, just like we do on the Wednesday midweek refresh, just like we do on Share Your Success Saturday. It is never about, hey, come listen to this person speak. Yeah, of course, we bring in some value. We drop the value bombs with you guys. Everything is designed so that everybody can speak because people resonate with different people and they do it in separate ways. So we design these things so that everybody can learn from everyone. The way that Dean and I poured into people was different from the way that Daniel poured into people. Daniel is a phenomenal car salesman, and he views things differently than the way that I do from the way that Dean does. And Daniel poured in and poured in and poured in. He had comments with just about every person that was there. And the beauty of it was the comments that he poured in was able to resonate with people in a different way than if Dean and I just said, hey, look, we're speaking, y'all stay quiet and just listen. That's not the point. We want everybody to learn. And Daniel texted me a couple of times last night and this morning talking about how essentially his mind is just blown. We had another youngster in the crowd too that he was so overwhelmed, and we took a step back to help him learn how to go out and use what he's learning instead of just throwing a whole lot of information at you and saying, all right, now go figure it out yourself. We came in and said, here's how you implement what you're learning. And it was great. I walked around. This event was actually at Dean's house. And that's the reason that we never would put out the exact location of where it was until you purchased the ticket. And the next event is going to be at my house. So y'all will see the Atlanta, Georgia area. You'll get the information about where it's at as soon as you sign up or just before the event. But we're looking forward to doing that. We're opening it up to probably no more than 15 people. 30 is just way too much, like I said before, because we want everybody to get extreme value for how it pertains to their life, their situation. Daniel made a comment about how he learned so much about real estate. As we all know, I don't remember the exact number, but it's in the high 80s or low 90% of every millionaire in the world is invested in real estate in some way. That does not mean that that's their main hustle. However, there is real estate investment going on. And as everybody was going around speaking about where they're at in life, what they're working on, almost everybody said something about real estate. And the question was asked, well, who all is involved in real estate? Every hand in the room went up. So there were a couple of breakout sessions really that were designed specifically toward real estate. That's one of these huge backgrounds is investing in real estate. So he was able to pour in from that standpoint. The very first, most impactful moment to me was when we broke for lunch on the first day. One of the participants actually lives in the neighborhood where Dean does, or his parents do. Nonetheless, he had to run to his parents' house or to his house a couple times to take care of some things throughout the event. We were at lunch the first day, and as he was walking out, Dean was sitting right beside the door. And I overheard him telling Dean, he said, I have learned so much already and gained so much value, just before he walked out of the door. This was after 3 hours, 3.5 hours from the event starting. I looked at Dean's wife and yelled across the table. I didn't really yell, but across the table, I said, Christy, that's what it's about right there. It's all about impacting people. It's all about sharing with people and teaching people how to level up. The reality is none of us are where we want to be in life. That doesn't mean that we're not happy with where we're at. We're just always striving for more. You see, you are either growing or you're dying at all times. A flower is either growing or dying. A tree is either growing or dying. Same with your business, same with your life, same with your dreams. You must always be able to dream, daytime and nighttime. But that's not where it stops. You must dream, then you must take massive, determined action steps to see those dreams come into reality, to see those dreams manifest in your life and come true for you. We all have different dreams. We all have different visions. Always stay focused and keep going. And we all here know that mentorship is the number one way to get to it. Finding those people to pull you along and help you level up to see where you want to get to mirror and match. Find those who have what you want, do the things that they do so that you can achieve the same or similar results. People look at successful people and say, you are standing on a mountaintop. What they don't realize is we're standing on a mountaintop, but that mountaintop is the mistakes that we have made in the past and the mistakes that we learn from others. That's where mentorship comes in at. That's where aligning with the right people to help propel you forward comes in at. My life drastically changed when I began getting mentors in my life and aligning with people to help get me there. I put there in quotes and leave it so open because that changes. When you accomplish a goal, level up, go for another goal. My mother-in-law made a comment to my father-in-law several years ago. He said, Jackson, where would you like to go? She said, I don't want to go anywhere. I've been everywhere I wanted to go. And she said, I don't have a bucket list. It's over with. And he simply said to her, put new things in the bucket list. Keep going, keep growing. Once you accomplish this goal and the next goal, get another one. Life is about growth. Life is about relationships. And you make that growth by relationships. So I'm going to turn this over to you guys now. Tell me about a time in your life where you have leveled up and you have made it to that next level purely based on a relationship that you have formed. Lisa, you leaned in. You ready to share?
No, I'm just playing. Yeah, I'm ready to share. I learned from every relationship I have because I'm paying attention now. And I'm paying attention because I got a mentor. And then I got another mentor because sometimes you outgrow your mentor. And sometimes you do, and sometimes you can stay with them longer. And I pay attention, and people pour into me. And the more I pour into others, the more I get back in return. I'm grateful for the relationship that I have with you because it started out as a mutual friendship, and it is a mutual friendship. And yet we bring so much to the table for each other. We're able to say things to each other, so we get to see things that we wouldn't typically see, or somebody wouldn't have the courage to say to us. And I'm really grateful for that. You're open to receiving. I'm open to receiving. And mentorship so while we have a deep friendship, it's also grown into a mutual mentorship together. And I have other mentors because one person, like I have somebody that helps me with meal planning and prepping and stuff like that, because they're an expert in it and it's not my thing. And I'm like, okay, help me make this easy for myself. And whatever area of your life you want to do it better, get a mentor. They've done it, they've been there, and they'll cut so much time off of it for you. So I'm so incredibly grateful that I've had mentors, and I will always continue to have a new mentor. And the next one's going to be a financial mentor. So that I'm on my way, and I'm here at the same time.
That's it. There comes with an investment to have a mentor. Yet, by not having a mentor, you're still going to pay. You pay with mistakes. You pay with doing it the wrong way.
Yes.
And if you have the right mentor, they're going to save you a lot of money, even though you're paying that up front. It just cuts time. The learning curve is cut down drastically. And so you earn it faster, you level there faster. And you made a great point, Lisa. Having multiples, good morning, Dean. Having multiples, because one person is not going to be able to fill every void. I have spiritual mentors, like the campus pastor at my church. I have mentors for each specific area. So you just find what you're needing with that. Dean, we're talking about relationships that we have formed that have really gotten us to the next point, the next level in life, and how those relationships build you up.
Yes, absolutely.
Whether it's relationship or just friendship or whatever the case may be, how relationships, how important they are, because that's one of the major things that life is about building relationships.
Absolutely. And again, apologies are late. My watch died. So my watch says 8:50, and I'm like, okay, I got 10 minutes. I'm looking at my phone. I go, holy cow, what happened? So my watch died somehow. Oh, it's dead.
Plus, no doubt you were tired. I want to publicly say to Dean, congratulations on an event well done. You rocked it out, my brother. Congratulations. Look forward to the next one.
So did you, buddy. That was awesome. That was fun, but that was because of you too as well. You know what? There's no way we could have done it. I wouldn't have done it without you, because you know what? Because it would never get off the ground. Like I told you before. You know what? If it was just me, I would never have done it. So, but awesome.
Everybody that was there poured in greatly. Ken Hansen, good morning, my friend. Tell us about a relationship that you have formed that has really propelled you to the next level in whatever area of life you'd like to share about.
Gosh, there's so many. one of the biggest ones was meeting you and Sparrow and Lisa at the next level back in November. That just opened my mind up to even bigger things that were available. I have really good friend of mine that I haven't talked to in wow, a couple years now, but he got me from a point of looking at, you know, how I'm going to proceed in the corporate world, 9-to-5 world, and enabled me to see the value of being an entrepreneur and a business owner. And then one of my best friends from Germany, I just talked to him last night for the first time in probably a month and a half, but he did the same thing for me in a different way. We were college roommates, and that was 25 years ago. And he's still one of my best friends to this day. And I actually got a chance to talk with him for about an hour and a half last night. And he is looking at taking his business to Utah, of all places. He's a web designer. He does photography for real estate. He's just got his hands in a bunch of different pots. And so, yeah, I look at pretty much like Lisa, anyone I meet, there's something I can learn from. There's an old Jimmy Buffett lyric that says, "I've read dozens of books about heroes and crooks, and I've learned much about both of their styles." And that's kind of the way I look at it, is sometimes you learn what to do, and sometimes it's more important to learn what not to do. So
You're absolutely right. That's awesome. Juanita, good morning, my dear.
Good morning, Jonathan and everyone.
So what is a relationship that you have formed in your life that has helped you get to your next level?
Well, I have to agree with one of our speakers just now that, there's so many that I can think of. And, across the years, over the years, I've always been a relationship builder, especially because I've been in the corporate world as well as in the ministry. And I have to say, if something from all those relationships stand out, is the willingness to always help people in their time, of need, maybe of advice or resources. And, when you build up relationships like that over the years, when it's your time to ask someone for assistance or for guidance or for just know-how or details or a route to take, then you are welcome to always just call on them. So one of mine was, I met a professor in 2020 through an international company that I was working for, and he actually became my mentor. And later, actually last year, he adopted me. He's now my dad. So just, by walking that road, really investing in him as he was investing in me, it was always a two-way conversation. And now I've not only found a wonderful mentor in him, I have a network through him as well. And of course, his family. So never underestimate the power of a good, secure connection. And if you are, heart-centered, if you're a heart-centered leader, you know that the outcome will always be positive. Thank you, Jonathan.
Absolutely. Thank you, Juanita. And an interesting thing about relationships, as Juanita was speaking, I was reminded of 4 weeks ago, I had something going on in my life with somebody that I considered a dear friend, and just full transparency, it was killing me on the inside. And I don't recall if she and I sent voice notes back together, or we jumped on a Zoom, or we were just on a phone call. I don't recall. But she said, "What's going on?" And I started speaking with Juanita about what was going on. And just having somebody at that moment to pour into, that's where relationships comes in at. It's not always a big, huge explosion. It's not always something massive. And that's not saying you're not massive, Juanita, because you definitely are. In fact, I'm going to share some news pertaining to you here in just a couple moments. I'm really excited about. But relationships come in all forms. Never discredit any of them because they are all there for a reason. Some relationships are there for a short period of time and some are lifelong. But value every relationship that you have because that person was put in your path for a reason. So we have time for one more. Who would like to share that has not shared already? Daniel, did you share about relationships? Say it again. Who was that?
No, that was me. I was just going to ask a question.
Okay.
So, Jonathan, we heard your view about the unscripted event and how wonderful it was. I'd love to hear a little bit from Dean. Is that possible?
Yeah, absolutely. But real quick, as far as relationships goes, you know what? Here, I would say people are brought into your life for a particular reason, and sometimes, you know what? We always look for people that can serve us, but sometimes it's about serving. It's all about serving each other. Just want to make a quick point here on that one because you know what? In the past, I used to look for people that go, okay, what can I get from them? What can I get from them, and they become my friend. Most of my closest friends, honestly, are the ones that I either got in a fight with, that I couldn't stand in the beginning, or somebody that I knew that I probably wouldn't get along because so something would have happened. Like my best friend, I met him through a fight. We got in a fight together. We both got hurt, and next thing I know, he's my best friend. And I met him when I was 3 years old. You know, one of my best friends was something that I got into, and we were there talking crap about each other. Next thing I know, we get to find out who we are, and we have a lot in common. So this old saying is never judge a book by its cover. You know what? Don't look at somebody because they're poor or they're rich. For example, one of my good friends' name is Greg Galis. In school, he was kind of the introvert, kind of the dork. Everyone picked on him. I unfortunately did too as well. I forced him to do some of my homework, and we were bullying him. And one day I'm like, you know what? He said, we just started talking, and he was the nicest guy in the world. Became friends with him, and we always thought he was poor. He dressed really bad, really like a bum, and we always thought we thought he was homeless. Well, little did I know, he invites me to his house. I go to his house. It's in Bel Air, California, and I thought I was freaking lost. I end up pulling up to this driveway, and I'm at this house, and I'm like, dude, Greg, I'm lost. I'm in this wrong neighborhood. He goes, no, I see you on the camera. I'll let you in. This guy lived in about a 22,000 square foot house. His neighbor was Aaron Spelling. If you guys know who Aaron Spelling is from 90210, it's Homely Estates in California. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, wow. And Greg's dad the cars that we opened the driveway, there was Jaguars, Mercedes, Ferraris, and Lamborghinis sitting there. I'm like, Greg, whose houses are we at? What are we doing here? He goes, oh, this is my house. I'm like, what? I'm like, what is that car you drive? I was just curious, right? He goes, oh, that's my housekeeper's car. I go, dude, you could have had a better car. He goes, yeah, my dad wants, and his dad walks. I goes, yeah, I've been telling my son for a while to take the better cars, but he won't drive it. I'm like, wow. And that's when I learned about humility from him too as well. So he became my friend. But anyhow, as far as the event goes, Lisa, it was amazing. Jonathan was awesome. The event was awesome. Honestly, if you were to say what would I have done differently, it'd been nothing. The only one thing would have been maybe to schedule a time, like someone mentioned about time. Like we started at the same time, we ended as best as we can at 4:00. We asked people to go over, and they said yes, we can go over. Well, we only went over by an hour and a half tops. And but other than that, nobody. I mean, it was great because it's funny because Jonathan said he was nervous, but he wasn't at all. He was just excited. It was a blast. You know what? And being on stage with Jonathan, it's fun. You know what? Like I said, there's no way in hell I would have done this by myself. Even if I wanted to, I probably wouldn't have. It's nice to have someone up there together. It was awesome. So if you guys are thinking about the next event, and again, I'm not here to sell the event. What's nice is that even for myself, I learned a lot because it's funny because people are asking these questions about stuff that even myself that I hadn't thought about. Like I had to take a picture of something that I drew out on the whiteboard because I forgot about that. I'm like, holy cow, I can use that in Learn with Kai. I forgot that. Well, I was buried someplace. When no one talks about it, like your child, you bury it, but it's there unless someone picks something out. They draw it out. I'm like, dang, I never even thought of that. Like, the wealth triangle, right, John? The wealth triangle. I hadn't done that one in years, and I'm thinking, holy shit, where'd that one come from? But it's good, but it's fun. And stuff that you talk to. And the best part also, Lisa, is the people. Like, I learned from the audience. We had a guy there named Danny. who's new. He's new to entrepreneurship. He's
on
a
the
car
call with us
sales.
right now, Dean.
Is he? Oh, Danny, that's
Hey,
Danny.
Dean.
Yep.
It's a buddy. I learned from you too, man. I was like, man, this guy. You go. The drive this kid has is amazing, Danny. I'm gonna talk shit about you for a second here. The drive that this kid has is amazing. I'm like, wow, man. He goes, you know what? When I was 22 years old, what was I doing? I think I was still getting drunk. I was being stupid. But the questions that he's asking, looking for direction, looking for the right way to go, is like, you know what? Here's the funny thing. That's questions that even adults still should be asking too sometimes as well. I'm running across adults who are older, who think they're who think they're set and they've got it done. I'm like, are you happy where you're at? He goes, no. So what else? He goes, well, I don't know where to look. I'm content. I said, no, you're not, man. And I look back at someone like Danny, who's 22 years old, is not content, goes, I want more. Why can't adults do the same thing? So something I learned on this event was like, listen, it doesn't matter what age you're at, whatever you're doing. Here's the way I look at it. When are you content? My answer is never. You're never content. Here's the thing. Someone asked me the other day, John, you asked me, are my dreams? Oh, here's the thing. And I learned from Jonathan. Jonathan asked me a question and it was profound. He goes, Dean, you live your dream life. You got what you want. And granted, I live a very blessed life. I'm not going to deny that. On this call, I'll say some things that I do. That I live a very blessed life. There's no doubt about that. This actually is my dream home. I do live my dream house. I do have my dream vehicles. I have my stuff. But at the end of the day, it was funny because I'm sitting here with my business partner Kyle, and we have our dream. We technically have our dream boat. But here's the thing: my dream boat would be a $20 million boat. My dream plane, instead of the jet, instead of plane I have right now, it'd be a 30 or 40, 50. I'd love to have a Gulfstream 650 XP, which is about a $65 million plane versus what I have now. So yeah, keep dreaming. And the thing is, just comes down to this: then, do you need it? And people go, well, I don't need that. I don't need that. That's just bullshit. Because you know what? You don't need it, but do you want it? Yeah. So just got to keep dreaming bigger. And it comes down to is like, you know what? Is like, if you have the ability, like for example, the want to keep working more and keep pushing forward, great. Unfortunately for me, I'm content. My passion right now is my kid. So my kid is if I didn't have a kid right now, heck yeah, I'd go be doing more. So in 10 years when he's 18 and I'm out, guess what? I'm going out for more stuff. I'm just kidding. But no, it was an awesome event, Lisa. It was great. And it was definitely what I expected was honestly better than what I thought it was going to be. It was definitely one of those things where, listen, the way I look at it is that if we had planned it and it didn't go as planned, the event would have sucked. But because we had nothing planned, honestly, at one point we only had one person signed up, and I didn't care because all we're gonna do is this one person will pour out and go, okay, where could we have done better? But honestly, for the next event, I'm gonna go. I didn't promote it that hard. Actually, I did it very little just to see how it went, and we still have quite a few people there. And the next one, I promise you, I'm gonna promote it to everybody. We know how it goes because I will change nothing.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, we're going to reduce that number down from 30. So we're looking real forward to that. And just like Dean said, this event really was not promoted much. The extent of the promotion that I did on my end was it sponsored this very call right here. And Michelle, did we put the one sheet out on Facebook, or did we even ever put it out in social media?
We put it out, but since of the mistakes, we have to turn it down.
Okay, so I think we only put it on Facebook one time, right? So it was only put on there for one day. And as we know, stuff cycles through so fast on social media that you got to keep hitting, you got to keep touching people with it. So that was put out one time. Whoever saw it then, I mean, I could look at the analytics, but it doesn't really matter. That was the extent that we pushed this event. So the next one, I'm down here in Florida still. I'll be with Dean over the next couple of days. We'll get the event date put up. And now that we have photos and videos and testimonials and everything, the spots are going to go real quick. So as soon as we open it up, get on it, get your ticket, and we'll look forward to seeing you there.
And you don't mind. And the amazing part, I think, John, what I loved about this event too is this: we had a spectrum of people from everything. That's what I kind of wanted to see. We had millionaires in the room. We had guys that like Danny, he's got a great job making good money at a young age, and we had guys who are just still starting out, starting new. We had a good spectrum, And that was one. I'm not gonna lie. One of the questions I had in this room, like for example, I did limit. Did not know. I think I told you we took out some of my high roller friends. We left them out of this event. I mean, I don't know. Maybe next time we don't do that. Maybe next time they could have brought more stuff into it as well. I think maybe we should bring in all the high guys too, because we actually, for those of you that know, Jonathan and I, and we split up Jonathan has a lot of high net worth individual friends. So do I. And the idea was we split it up and put them into what we're calling the Jet Set Mastermind, and that's where we're going to take them in the jet, and we go somewhere different with these guys. But I think though, man, they could have brought value too, but the thing is that it's so cool, because that's one of my things. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of curious to see how it's going to turn out. How is it going to relate with people who are 7-figure earners versus guys that are making 6 figures or a high 5 figures. But it turned out really good. I was happy.
It did. We had such a wide gap of people in there. It was amazing. I mean, we had some people that were just flat out confused with what they were learning to begin with. And so with it being such a small, intimate group, we were able to essentially pull back the entire event and zero in on that one person. And we did that for everybody. Got individual time. Every single person that was there got to share their individual journey and have people pour into them individually. And when we saw people even more confused about what was going on, we essentially stopped what was the big picture of everything and honed in on them. Because when Dean and I was talking about putting this together, we looked at what we do love about events and what we just hate about events. One of the things is oftentimes so much information and valuable information, great information is poured out. But if you don't know how to implement that information, what good is it? There's no good. There's no value until, obviously later in life, it may get rejogged and everything. But our goal, our vision, our passion is for everybody that comes to the event to leave knowing this is what I'm going to do. And I know we're going a little bit over today. So if you need to go, I completely understand. However, one of the attendees that was there, his mind was blown. It was overwhelming for him. And at the very end, very close to the end of the event, I had to go outside and walk the grounds for reasons that are irrelevant right now. But he was outside and he was about to leave. And he shakes my hand, and he was thrilled with everything that happened. And I said, "So what's your next steps?" Because he was totally confused a lot of times. And he was able to sit there and say, "This is what I'm doing next. This is where I'm going." That's the point. He got his value and he learned how to implement it and take it to the next steps. In fact, when we were talking directly to him at one point, he said, "I just don't know what to do." So right there, that very moment, with the backgrounds of the other people that were there, we were all able to pour into him and say, "Here's the website you go to. Here's what you do. Here's how you do it." And he made a comment at one point. He said, "I'm ready to get up and start running and go." That's the point. That's where that value comes in at. So we really look forward to seeing each and every one of you at the next The Unscripted event. We will put up the dates, the times, the information as soon as it is completely available and confirmed. All of you guys have a fantastic and blessed week, and we will see you Wednesday on the midweek refresh. Now, remember, Wednesday is March the 1st, which means it is members only at that point. So if you have not joined the Thought Provoking Change community, go to www.thoughtprovokingchange.com/opportunity. The Monday calls will still be members and non-members alike, but the calls on Wednesdays and the calls on Saturdays are members only. So we look forward to seeing you Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. And we do have a special speaker Wednesday night, Israel Mandrake, phenomenal hypnotist, phenomenal life change advocate. He'll be here speaking to us Wednesday night. Look forward to seeing you then. Be blessed, be unstoppable. Have a great week.